We'll be opening our service this morning with "My God is so good to me." So true.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of trouble, I sing, God is so good. In my time of trouble, I sing, God is so good. In my time of trouble, I sing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of triumph, I sing, God is so good. In my time of triumph, I sing, God is so good. In my time of triumph, I sing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Every day in every way, God is so good. Every day in every way, God is so good. Every day in every way, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good.
Watch out.
My God is so, my God is so, my God is so good to me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender, I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful, I am one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful, I trust in God.
Thank you.
And please be seated. In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us. The creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this in our companion Mother Earth and in all sentient beings. The universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of the Christ presence expressing in, as, and through us in this present moment now. It is the truth. Let us own it. and good morning. I'm so thankful and so grateful that you're all here today. We're going to have a great service, and I want to welcome everybody. Is there anybody who might be here for the first time? If you could just put your finger up in the air so we can make sure you have a welcome packet, that would be great. So we will get that to you if you haven't gotten it already. Thank you. And we do want you to know that whoever you are and wherever you might be on your spiritual journey, you're very welcome here. So thank you for being with us. And we welcome all of you at home. Thank you, too, for being here. So let's start out by just turning to our camera in the back and waving to all of our friends at home. Good morning. And now if you'd like to just turn to your neighbor and greet them with a quiet good morning. Thank you. We are a joyful, creative, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate service, and living on purpose. This is our mission. And today we would like to welcome as our accompanist, Marcia, with the help of Deborah and Kate Curtis, leading music today. And our dear friend, Falcon, is here today, so thank you so much. Now, if we can just take a deep breath as we get centered and prepare to say our 5 principles, which you will find on the inside of your bulletin, on the inside front cover of your bulletin. And let's say together, God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every way, every day, and so it is. And now, as we prepare for our time of prayer and meditation, please hold the words of this meditation hymn quietly in your heart.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Indeed, we are so blessed. And we sink into the place in our hearts, that very temple of our hearts, that place of connection, that place of resonance that place of harmony, where we know our blessings in the world are coming through the blessings that we have in our connection with Spirit itself. And so we imagine our hearts opening, our doors of the temple of our hearts just opening and allowing Spirit to flow in a blessing way, in a way that nurtures, in a way that warms, in a way that tells us we are accompanied in all time. Indeed, the very essence of that Spirit is the breath of ourselves. We are so connected. We are so at one with the energy of the divine. And so in that place of our hearts where Spirit flows right through, where we are there, where we and God are in that place of oneness, we open our hearts and we affirm the energy of wisdom. We affirm that within us is that divine potentiality that always supports us, that always knows from a place of divine intuition the right next step for our lives. We stand in that energy that knows no matter what comes at us next, we have divine wisdom as the energy of our hearts to make the perfect decision for what is next to do. Through contemplation, through prayer, through standing and sitting and being in this sacred place of where our lives and our hearts and the divine Spirit work together, work in harmony, work in conjunction. Divine wisdom is our birthright. It is always available and it always supports us in knowing the next best step for our life when we step into that energy. And we allow the energy of divine gratitude to flow through us as well. And we can be grateful that all that comes and enters our life, we can see it and be curious. We can see it and embrace. Without it being us, we can just let things flow through us and say, I am so blessed. Here's another blessing. And divine wisdom tells me, what do I do with each and every blessing? So in that heart space, we now open in gratitude for all that is coming to us, in curiosity, knowing that wisdom is available. We bring our concerns, the issues in our life, the people that we are concerned for. Our hearts in a special way go to the people in our life who are vets on this weekend, Veterans Day weekend. All the people we know who have served and are serving. We hold them in the temple of our hearts with gratitude. So trusting in wisdom and sitting in that space of gratitude, for whom else and for what else shall we pray for? Please say their names or the issue out loud now. Offer Bob, Ernie. And we take all these prayers that were uttered and all the ones that remain the temple of our hearts. And we know they are blessed. And we know divine wisdom is guiding us and guiding them for the next best thing in their life and for their good. And with this energy of blessing and wisdom, let's sink into a time of meditation.
Take a moment to relax more deeply and more comfortably into your chair. Let go of anything you might be holding on to physically or mentally. Just set it aside for now. Take a deep cleansing breath and let it go. Focus on your breath, gentle in and out breaths. Breathe. 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 Peace is my breath. Peace is my breath. As I enter into my inner sanctuary, I breathe in peace. As I focus my attention on the rhythm of my breath, my body settles. And as I focus on the expansion of my lungs, I open to spirit. As my lungs expand, I visualize my consciousness expanding. I soften my heart and open my consciousness to my spiritual growth. Let's take a few minutes to just sit in the silence, picturing our lungs as an expansion of our consciousness. I open to new thoughts and beliefs as I realize the power of my spiritual truth. I realize the power of wisdom and truth in me with every breath. The peace of God is in my mind and heart. Divine wisdom flows through me now. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
taught me to sing a love song, showed me how to laugh, how to cry, introduced me to some friends of mine, brightened up some days, helped me make it through some lonely nights. Oh, friend I have, cold and lonely night. This old guitar gave me my lovely lady, opened up her eyes and ears to me. Yes, it did. It brought us close together, but I guess it broke her heart. Opened up space for us to be. Yeah. A lovely place, a lovely face to see. This old guitar gave me my life, my living, all the things you know I love to do. Serenade the stars that shine to a sunny mountainside. Most of all, to sing my songs for you. Yeah, I love to sing my songs for you. Yes, I do, you know. I love to sing my songs for you.
And we're the fortunate ones that get to hear those songs. So today, we're going to stay on the theme of wisdom and gratitude as we come into Thanksgiving. You only have one more week in November after this on wisdom and gratitude, and guess what then happens? It's Advent. I know, how did that happen so fast? But this is what happens, right? We keep evolving, we keep changing. How interesting, because that's what I want to talk about today. But not just the evolution of things, because what I really want to focus on is the evolution of consciousness that is taking place right now in this period of human history, if you will, in a way that's unusual, and it's never happened quite this way before. Maybe you could say the last couple hundred years, there has been an expansion, a new turn of how we consider evolution and the evolution of consciousness. And it's fascinating that we have gotten to show up at that perfect time and that perfect place, and here we are. And we've talked about this a little before, but I want to add a piece to the overall. So let me set the stage. One of the theories, it goes like this, and Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, talked about this sense of involution, not evolution, but involution. In the beginning was the Word, in the beginning was Spirit, in the beginning was the all of allness, and it was just the entire essence of allness that didn't exist yet in material form. So through evolution, the allness shows up first off as this allness in spirit that starts to move. And spirit becomes consciousness. And consciousness pervades this becoming, this involution, this desire of the divine to express itself, to know itself, because the nature of the divine is to express, is to become, is to go forward and express in all the possibilities that it might be, because, well, that's what God does. It expresses. It shows up. it smiles back at itself and goes, wow, that's amazing. And how does God smile back at itself? To say, wow, that's amazing. We do it. We look back at the very divine. We look at the divine in ourselves and go, look at us, look at it, look, God wanting to show up in the material world so they could turn and express back and look back at the world of the eternity and go, wow, this involution then becomes evolution. So the all, and then spirit, and then consciousness. And then from consciousness, mind, or in traditional Christianity, there are many traditions that call soul. Charles Fillmore sort of used those two words synonymously. Shows up in soul or divine mind, starts showing up, and then in divine ideas. Mind produces ideas, and then ideas express into life. And underneath life is matter. And underneath matter is particles. Underneath particles is, all the way back to the start, the all. This beautiful involution from the all into life and into matter. And then you can see it turn right back around, and it's through evolution. So these particles go, I know, let's become atoms, and then atoms become molecules, and then molecules become, bigger molecules and more complex molecules, then they become proteins, and then they become life. And what's interesting is each part of this way, you can know one piece of this evolving world, but not know the next piece. You just don't know. Hydrogen and oxygen get together. Ooh, hydrogen, that is so cool. I mean, hydrogen's amazing, and oxygen, look at those, those atoms, right? And you put them together, and they become, H2O becomes water. And you can know everything in the world about water and not know anything about hydrogen and oxygen. And you can know everything about hydrogen and oxygen, but you don't know anything about water. Because when the evolution and the moving back after the involution back to the fullness of spirit, things emerge and things come together and new forms come apart and new things are birthed and new things exist that didn't exist before. It tips over and wow. And then there's water, and there's more complex molecules. And all of a sudden it's like these molecules, these proteins, and then there's all these pieces that come, and all of a sudden, bam, life. What a leap, And there's these wonderful, this spirit that in involution that shows up starts evolving its way back towards a final, one of the theories is Teilhard de Chardin, the great sort of evolutionary thinker, said it's going back to what he called an omega point, a final end point. It's just sort of the whole energies, the whole way this can move is just excited. It's like there's an endpoint out there. Let's keep emerging. Let's keep evolving. Let's keep going. Now, it showed up that humanity showed up some 100,000 years ago, and we haven't really changed as bodies too much in matter. Our evolution recently meaning over hundreds of thousands of years, hasn't really been a physical evolution. It's been an evolution of consciousness. We're evolving in mind. We're evolving in our understanding. We're evolving in the way that we understand and connect back to spirit. Back to spirit. Because we're on this journey. We evolve from there and we're evolving right back. What a game. What a game. And we get to play it. We're in the middle of it. And so recently, some hundreds of thousands of years ago, people started really being aware of consciousness. It's like we have consciousness, and we know that we have consciousness. And so things came online in the way that we act, the way we are in life. And we came online where we said we're conscious and we understand it, and we started communicating with each other as human beings. And we started exploring our sense of consciousness and just trying to understand what is it we're conscious of. And then we were in this place where it was this magic. For the longest time, it was a way of living in the world that was just beautiful. We call it sort of magic thinking, and not in a negative or positive, just a way of understanding the closeness we were in nature and just the way we swam in that soup of nature. And then what came online was what we call like traditional. I'll use the words we're more used to. Traditional thinking, if I may use that word. And the great traditions came online. Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Taoism. They all came online in this period. And we had a whole new way of writing down and living and ritualizing our consciousness. This was great stuff. And you know, the thing about the evolution of consciousness and the evolution in general is we may always transcend a previous level, but we always have to include it. We don't transcend it and forget about it. That'd be like, I'm water now, I don't need hydrogen and oxygen. It doesn't work, right? And so we become, and we adopt a new way of understanding consciousness in traditionalism. But it doesn't mean we got rid of the roots of our ancient humanity's ways of thinking and being and doing. And ideally, this is what I'm saying, ideally we include it. We transcend it, we include it. We transcend it, we include it. And we're transcending in our consciousness. And then some hundreds of years ago, what came online was what we might just call modernism, science, Renaissance, the breakthrough, understanding how the world works. And now we got a clash. Because a lot of us want to be all in that world, and other people say, no, we still need to be traditional, and other people say, no, we still need to be archaic. And, and then they go to war over this stuff. But what's the ideal? This is what I'm suggesting is an integral path that says, I am here, and I can bring in, traditional thinking, and I can bring in this deep-rooted, archaic way of thinking from humanity that's been through for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions, all of it in an integral world. You go, yeah, but isn't like science thinking and traditional religious thinking, isn't that like in conflict? Well, work it out. Yeah, but there it is. Evolution of conscious asks us to go, wow, how do I bring in, the old or what's been done? How do I include it with what's the new? How do I blend all this together? How do I be integral and stand in the truth of this greatness of humanity? Oh, and then some 100 years ago, we came after modern, postmodern. The sensitive new age guy, Put that online with science and then with traditional and then with, And now we're trying to integrate all of this stuff. But along that came with it was another new breakthrough in consciousness. If before we knew that we had consciousness and we're trying to understand it, we're at a place now where not only are we conscious that we're conscious, but we know we can direct the path of future consciousness. We understand how powerful we are as human beings. We're getting that, which means we need to be very humble with what we understand is the power that is part of our consciousness in the world. Because if we don't understand how powerful we are and understand that deep sense of consciousness, then we look at things like Mother Nature and just think, oh, that we just, control it or take care of it or steward it or, it's just there for our use. And we don't understand in this evolution of consciousness now, we understand that we are so integrated with the whole natural world that we need to humbly say, we are the ones that evolved with a heart that can have compassion, wisdom, understanding, faith, power, strength, vision, and say we are integrated with all this. It's got it, all this world has its role, and we have our role. And I say its. I don't even like to say its. There's an author named Robin Kilmer. She wrote, we need pronouns for nature. Let's stop calling it it. She went and she talked to a native elder, and they suggested the word key. Use the pronoun key. Key does this. He does that, she does that, key does this. Playing with ideas. How do we bring new pronouns online so we stop thinking of it as an it, an object, but realize the deep subjectivity of the interrelationships between all of us and all of this natural world, and feel it deeply? Because we're at that place now in consciousness where do you feel that? We feel it, right? This isn't theory. This is like we're feeling it. We're at that cusp, right at the edge of this, and these new breakthroughs in our consciousness that have evolved. And not evolved out of nothing. First there was involution, and now spirit's finding its way back. Come on, let's play. Let's play. Here we go. Let's play. And we're moving back, and if Teilhard's right, Teilhard there, Shadan, moving to the omega point, moving to this breakthrough, moving to new realizations and new potentialities of who we are as human beings and what's possible. And it's really exciting. And we get to show up now and play in this field of breakthrough. And you know, where do we go? And a couple things about that. If once upon a time we thought consciousness was, oh, my consciousness, my consciousness, one of the things of the breakthrough that we're seeing is that this breakthrough in consciousness is a community affair. Some people, I don't know if it was, I don't know where I read it, and you might have read this too. They said the Buddha will show up again, not as a reincarnated person, but as a sangha, as a community. You know, the awe. The people say, you know, that the Christ, that Jesus, well, there's a second coming, right, of the Christ. The second coming is here. It is in consciousness. And part of the second coming is not only each of us as individuals, but all of us together as a community that's breaking through in conscious and communal consciousness. And the we-ness of this, and the connectedness of this. Do you feel it? You know, you just like, I want to pray for me, but then when I connect and I bring in others, it's like it's so much richer. It's like, yeah, there it is. Because the divine of me is the divine of you, is the divine of you, is the divine of you. At that core essence of each of us, we're one. So of course it's in community, because it's in the oneness of all of us. And then we get to enjoy all the uniqueness of each individual that shows up in their individuality. It's like, oh, she's so cool, he's so interesting, it's all that stuff. But on one level, we get to see all this beautiful play of different individuals. But in the essence of us, there's a oneness. And in that oneness, there's a community. And in that community aspect, where we come together, all is when we really recognize it, is the breakthrough into new levels of consciousness. When will the Jesus come again? When will this Christ show up again? When will this resurrected presence show up in the world again? It is. It's right there. We just need to see it, embrace it, understand that it's there in consciousness. So I want to take a pause here, because this is kind of fun. It's the perfect time. In this beauty of awakened consciousness, where we are understanding the willingness to be as one, to pull together as a whole, to see that in the United States we say, we the people, you know, we the people. We want to form a union. We want that union to be perfect. It's going to have justice. It's going to have peace. The U.S. Constitution, right? And there are many people who said, I am willing to stand up for that vision of oneness. I am willing to evolve and say, but while I'm important, this vision of oneness, this perfect unity, a place of justice and the rule of law, and compassion and tranquility and peace for all people, I will stand for that evolution of consciousness. And many people gave years of their life for that vision. It's Veterans Day. So I want to celebrate, take a pause right now, or this is right in the talk, on this evolution of consciousness, what people do in a beautiful way. And I want to invite all the veterans, and I'm looking at you guys, if you'd be so kind to please come forward now and stand up here and face the congregation. Anyone who's a veteran. Yeah. Did you guys know? Wow. God bless America. Right? What a vision, huh? Did you guys know there was so many? No. Yeah. We'll do a blessing here in a second. Let's get them the roses. Wow. Good thing we got a dozen. Holy cow. How perfect. And if you all join me, just maybe put your hands on your heart for a moment and hold these men in your hearts. And standing with a deep breath, connecting in a place of gratitude for these men who have served, who have given their lives and their time and their energies and their creative expression to a vision of a union, a perfect union of human beings that can come together to support a vision of peace and a vision of tranquility and a vision of justice for all people to be embraced, who stood up and said yes to a beautiful vision. And another breath of gratitude. God, these are beautiful men, right? Beautiful human beings. So, rubbing our hands together. Our veteran friends, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, we behold the Christ within you. We evolve in consciousness to the point where we see in resonance the beauty of being community, of being together, of what we can do together is greater than sitting in, single-minded in what we can do apart or as individuals. This is a breakthrough in new ways of consciousness. And that we do it to form a union, and that we do it, to have peace in our land. 2,000 years ago, they're not talking like this. This is a breakthrough. This is a breakthrough in consciousness. And there's more. And we are at the cusp. And we're at the cusp. And even more is coming. And it's a sense of our fullness and our wholeness. It's our divine wholeness. Wholeness meaning there's this place of us that no matter how fractured we feel individually or as a group, we can claim divine wholeness that's calling us forward and saying, feel into the expression of the sense of the oneness of each other. Those of us in class right now, we're ending our book, How to Pray Without Talking to God. And Reverend Linda says, in some ways, if you're looking for a final prayer and you don't know what else to pray for, just go to your heart and claim the truth of wholeness. Wholeness in our own consciousness and our own psychology, and any way we think we're broken internally, or there's something that's fractured in our minds and in our day and in our psychology, something that's about we're feeling out of sorts. We can claim wholeness and gratitude. Things are unfolding towards the good when we get into that connected place and allow. And any place in our individual bodies, in our physicality, as we grow and we look at, after 9 games of pickleball, how sore I am, and wholeness, hot tubs. Oh, that's a joke. Ibuprofen, wholeness. That's all part of it. We claim our wholeness. And we know this and it's just part of this evolution of our physicality that's moving and changing and evolving, and it's good. It's in this process and it's unfolding. And we can claim wholeness. And if we think, well, that's not how it used to be, of course it's not. It's not how life works. We evolve and we change as people, as corporate, as communities, and as consciousness. And we look around our, in the greater world, in the sense of working together and bigger manifestations of community. We claim wholeness. And we see how things, it's like nested dolls. This works in this, and this works in this, and this works in this. And it's not worth it to say, stop, throw all that out, because we're all part of this integral piece that's unfolding in consciousness. And when we don't understand it sometimes, we go, that can't be right. That shouldn't happen that way. What happens, happens. And then we can claim wholeness and take situations, even difficult situations, and go, okay, now that happened. Now how do we claim wholeness? How do we use that and see that and allow new breakthroughs in consciousness to allow what seemingly negative things to transform and become the new thing that's going to emerge? Oh, we can pray, God, make that stop. You try it. People have been trying it for a long time. Something other, do something to them, where the solution is finding that divine other that resides in the very center of our hearts and changing me and allowing me to evolve. And maybe I can't physically go out and do everything to fix everything in the world, but in consciousness, in my consciousness, and then in community consciousness, we can rise up our consciousness and find the power, the very essence of that in our heart's place, in that consciousness where we connect with a vision and energy, the truth of wholeness, and allow that energy to be who I am and how I live. And it's infectious, and it changes the next person, and it changes community, and it changes, and it goes out. We need to practice wholeness as individuals and community, the truth of our oneness. And that's the energy that then gives us the divine vision, the divine ideas, and the strength and the heart and the energy to go forward to speak the truth and to make change that is real change. Not just, they talk about some of the spiritual change is just really, shuffling the chairs on the Titanic. Oh, I changed. Look what I did. Yeah. The real change is when you steer around the iceberg. And that's the place we do from that very deep center in our hearts. In the book, I'm going to share with you just a very simple piece, because I want to leave this to you in a very practical way. And what we've been doing in the class, and I want to share this with you, is Reverend Linda talks about, and this is old, this is Unity 5-step prayer. And people might have said for a long time, well, what's Unity's prayer form? Oh, let me tell you, it's powerful. This is the 5-step prayer that Unity has always, this is what the Fillmores came out with. This is the practice. And it doesn't have to be in this order, but here's the 5 pieces of prayer that transforms, that helps us really move and really stand in consciousness towards an energy that's truly transformative, not just translation, not just shuffling the chairs, but actually transforms. The first one is we need to relax. And how many times, if you're in any Unity thing and you want to start a prayer or meditation, you go, take a breath. Just relax. Let it go. Loosen your shoulders. There's 4 more steps, but I tell you, sometimes that's all I need. It's like, okay, I'm fine. Take a breath. And what's breath? I mean, the word for breath is spirit, right? Inspiration, it's inspirited, inspire. What's the word for breathing? Respiration. It's all has to do with spirit, right? Yeah. The next one is concentrate. And concentrate might be, so I'm going to sit and I need to concentrate. So what do I concentrate on? Well, for me, a lot of times it's like, okay, what's going on in my mind? And what is the focus? What is my intention for sitting in prayer for this moment? What's that intention? What do I want to touch into? I want to, today my prayer, I want to intend for healing. I want to intend for healing in the world, or peace in parts of our planet that are at war. Maybe that's my intention. Or my intention is there's some physical ailment for me or somebody I know, and I want to pray for that. So we concentrate. We sink into our hearts after we've relaxed, and we put that intention at the temple of our hearts. We really concentrate. Where does this prayer go? And it could be more than one thing, And then we meditate. And then from that place, this meditation could be affirmative prayer. It could be, I'm just going to take that piece that I'm worried about. Maybe it's a thing of healing, physical healing. And so I just meditate, and we breathe in, and the best affirmations, the breath meditations are the ones that we resonate in our hearts and we come up with. Oh, we can read them in a book, but those of you in the class know when we come up with our own, they're a doozy, and they're very interesting. So maybe it's for a prayer request, and I breathe in, like I am wholeness, and I breathe out, and I claim wholeness for so and so. Just something that simple. I know my wholeness, and I claim wholeness for so-and-so. And then meditate. Just get into that place where now I've had an intention. I'm just going to meditate. I'm just going to flow into the prayer request for and I'm not asking a divine for anything. I'm claiming the truth of who we are with the divine presence that's in us and flowing through us and acting in us. And remember, we went back. We're so powerful. The divine spirit involved into us and said, whoa, evolved back out. Here we are. God looking at God. Divine looking at divine. Spirit looking at spirit. Exchange of the divine energy. So we need to claim that. And just breathe into that meditation space. Truth. The divine presence is alive in me. And I celebrate the divine presence in so-and-so. Wholeness is my nature, and I claim wholeness for so-and-so. Well-being is what I've created to be and who I've shown up to be, and I see so-and-so in a place of well-being. I see peace is the truth of my very essence. And I claim peace, the energy of peace in Ukraine right now. I stand in peace. I claim peace. I resonate in peace. I feel the harmony. I get in the very energy of the divine peace, and I claim that for Ukraine. I send peace from the energy of consciousness, because the God of me is the God of everybody in Ukraine, is the God of everybody in Russia, is the God of everybody everywhere. God knows God, and God hears God, and we can celebrate the divine potentiality to grow, because we're on this path of the evolution of consciousness, and consciousness is happening across this planet. We are, just like when oxygen and hydrogen tipped into water, we are at a tipping point for great new things to expand into new levels of consciousness in this manifest world right now. And it is happening. And we see it. Do you feel that? Yes. It's what's happening. And the beauty is, and I'm going to end on this, we think like we need, I look back at the way shower, my master teacher, Jesus of Nazareth, the Jesus Christ energy. And I look back on that and said, how did someone 2,000 years ago get this? So many levels of consciousness calling forward ahead, include and transcend and include and transcend. Yes, but Master, we already tithe dill and cumin. He said, yeah, do that and get into a world of kindness and compassion. Do what your law said. That's fine. And time to transcend. Time to do something new. There's one of the books in the Christian New Testament. It's called the book of Ephesians. That sometimes says Paul. Nobody really knows all about who wrote it. One of the assumptions is that it was a lot of material taken from different letters of Paul. And what might have happened was people started collecting the letters of Paul, because it got late into the Christian time, and they had copies of them, and they put them together. They want an introduction and a conclusion. So if you read through Ephesians, it almost looks like the first few chapters are introductory material. Then you read all the letters of Paul, and then there's a conclusion. So I really like that book for that matter. It's kind of a nice, concise little summary of what the early sort of this mystical breakthrough, something new happening tradition of Christianity. And there's this great piece in Ephesians 4. But I want to, just a little unity thing, especially for people who are new to unity. There's a sense of Jesus, which is the person who lived, right? Jesus Christ, who's the person who lived and recognized his enchrysted energy. Then you see the thing written, Christ Jesus, the sense that the risen Christ energy who had this identification with Jesus, and then the Christ, which is just the Christ of all of us that Jesus recognized. So knowing that, listen to these words. This is from Ephesians. So you learned Christ. My assumption is that you have paid careful attention to the Christ. You've been well instructed in the truth, precisely as we were shown in Jesus. You see the difference? Okay. Since then, we do not have the excuse of ignorance. Everything, and I do mean everything, connected with the old way needs to be transcended. So move on from it, and then take on and start to experience an entirely new way of life. And this new way is a God-fashioned life. And it's a life renewed from the inside in consciousness, and then working itself out into your conduct. And God, the divine, accurately reproduces a God character in you. That's powerful. God, working from the inside, accurately reproduces a God character in you. So in this Christ body, we are all connected to each other after all. It's 2,000 years ago. The evolution of consciousness. In the Christ body, we're all connected to each other after all. And then he ends with this really funny thing. So, so when you lie to others, you're lying to yourself. Leave it to Paul to throw in a zinger, right? Okay. So take a breath. Maybe close your eyes just for 1 second. Yeah, we're all connected. In the Christ body, in the very energy of the divine that's in each one of our minds and souls, and his spirit goes forth. We recognize our connection. Once again, we thank all those vets who put their lives on the line and their energies and their time on the line to celebrate that connection and to make it real in our world. And we know we are evolving to a tipping point of new potentiality. And this will come not only in our own consciousness, but in that of our community. Okay, so it is. So it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Frank. And now if our ushers would please come forward. We've come to that portion of our service where we get to celebrate our abundance. So as you take your offering to your heart, if you've given online, take the thought of what you've given or the thought of what you will give to your heart and affirm quietly to yourself, I give freely and joyfully, for God is my source, and I have abundance in all areas of my life. And let's say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
The song here is called Diamonds. And it speaks of someone's inner evolution, if you will. So, and I don't say this to kind of joke or break the ice, but my name is JP Falcon Grady, and I am a recovering alcoholic. And when I wrote this song, I got this perspective from this young child that was speaking about his mother. So, here we go, Diamonds. She's flying ever closer to the ground and flying to find her way back home again. Swore she'd never roam again. She's trying to bring it back to what it was before, what it was before her dirty little war. She won't fight it anymore. She found diamonds shining, broken bottles off the floor. I've been waiting, I've been wishing. She's dancing so much faster than before. She bends and twists like the wind that brought her home again. Ooh, she goes spinning round again. She's laughing so much louder than before. Not a whisper, oh, 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 but a roar. One giggle, and it'll knock you to the floor. She found diamonds shining, broken bottles off the floor. I've been waiting, I've been wishing. Christmas. Isolape Wishnale. Oh! Yes. Ooh. She's smiling so much brighter than before. It lights up the full moon, the sun, and more. You see, it's much brighter than before. And she's crying so much softer than before. The tears are real and poured right from her very soul. It's raining silver and gold with those diamonds shining, broken bottles. I've been waiting, I've been wishing.
So we bless these gifts with so much gratitude, given so generously for the work and the ministries and the mission of unity of Bellingham, for unity worldwide, and also for peace in our world. We are so grateful. Thank you. Guys, feeling it? Wow. A special thanks, Marcia. Thank you so much. That was beautiful today. And Kate. And where's Deborah? Wherever she went. Okay. Deborah as well. And Liz, thank you for the meditation. I don't know if you know, Liz, doing a meditation is this beautiful art form. And it's really beautiful. Yeah, thank you. I love, Aaron on lights, people in the booth, Jane and Jim and JP, and especially once again, and also Marilyn and Harvey. You know, they always bring the pie. Yeah, that gets it. And once again, a special blessing and a gratitude for all the vets in our community. And for any that weren't here, we send them a blessing as well. A couple other notes. There's, let me see. Oh, there is a retreat happening. The Unity of Seattle put on, there's a very special technique for chaplaincy that Unity has come up with. And we've had a lot of people trained in different forms of, a lot of people have done great work in chaplaincy. But Janae and Helga and LM are there down in an island outside of Seattle. I forget which island it is. I don't know my island yet. Bainbridge. At a retreat center, learning a unity method for chaplaincy. And so we send, I've been in a good mood all weekend knowing those guys are out and doing this and then bringing it back. And not only do they bring it back, but now because they've had the training, we can get a train the trainer and we can do more training in-house and expand for everyone who wants to taste a bit about this ministry called chaplaincy. And it's so beautiful and it's so wonderful. And now we'll bring this in. We'll have Unity chaplaincy program in-house and 3 more people trained. So we send them a blessing, holding the space for them. There's 10 more places for Thanksgiving. So anyone who's going to be here for Thanksgiving and would like a place to plug in with community, we have 10 more places. If you want to be here for Thanksgiving, there's the sign up. And also, I think Liz has mentioned this, but don't just sign up. We need to know what you bring. I'll repeat her spiel. We don't want 5 bowls of green beans. We want to know exactly what you're bringing. Oh, and we have, this Sunday is Earth Care. So everyone who has volunteered or wants to be part of the Earth Care, it may not be a long meeting, but we'll meet, once you get your pie and everything, meet up here for just a little bit, and we'll have our Unity Bellingham Earth Care meeting for today. Any announcements? I think we got it. Okay. We're good. Let's sing.
Time to sing some around about gratitude. Today, we're going to have this third of the room stay on Grateful. This is a song we've been doing the last couple of weeks. So this section of the room will stay on Grateful. The middle is going to be doing Joy Fills My Heart. And over there with Kate, you folks over there will sing Today I Start With Gratitude once we get it all going. But we'll start out with everybody singing Grateful.
You're going to want to stand for this.
Yeah.
Today I start with gratitude. 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 Grateful. 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 Again. Grateful. 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 Grateful.
Thank you.
Good job.
Standing, let's say together our prayer for protection, and we do include everyone, everywhere. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And again, thank you to our veterans. We love you so much. And now let's make a circle and sing our song, I Choose Love.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what